Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Turkish Spotlight Secrets, the corner of the internet where we peel back the velvet curtain on the brightest names in show business. Before we dive into today's heart-stopping development, make sure you're subscribed to Turkish Spotlight Secrets, tap that join button if you'd like to support our growing community, and hit like so this story reaches every viewer who lives for the twists and turns of Turkish celebrity life. Now let's begin. Because what unfolded has left an entire fandom breathless. For years, the names Barış Baktas and Yağmur Yüksel have stirred a special electricity in audiences at home and abroad. Say them together and you summon a universe unto itself, smoldering looks, scenes humming with tension, sparks that turned into storms and then back into softness. Their on-screen alchemy wasn't simply effective, it became emblematic. Audiences didn't just tune in. They waited, counted days, dissected interviews, and clung to the smallest hint of a reunion as if a single rumor might rekindle a legend. Yet today's turning point isn't a whispered comeback, nor a surprise series, nor a nostalgic peek behind the scenes. What burst across timelines on November 20th, 2025, is something more decisive. A message echoed across every platform within minutes, provoking both aching silence and fiery discussion. Barış Baktas and Yağmur Yüksel are formally stepping away from their professional partnership, charting separate creative paths that, for now, lead far from the dynamic that enthralled a generation of romance devotees. It isn't an oath never to meet again, nor a verdict sealed in stone. Entertainment has a way of transforming endings into preludes. But the reality stands plainly: the synergy that once defined them as an unstoppable duo is evolving into two distinct trajectories. No overlap, no promise, no lingering obligation to the image that once held them in tandem. Take a breath and consider what this means. For years, their mere proximity could turn a scene into electricity. They embodied a magnetic kind of love, complicated, fierce, tender, wordless at times yet loaded with meaning. Fans watched the close-ups like confessions, rode out the tempests of misunderstanding, and leaned in for the silent moments that felt louder than speeches. For many, watching them wasn't a pastime, it was an experience. But even the most dazzling constellations drift as the seasons change. On one side of this crossroad stands Barış, whose aspirations have been expanding quietly beyond familiar borders. The whispers, now backed by credible confirmation, point to a major Hollywood production, and not as a fleeting cameo. We're talking about a starring role in a project designed for global release. This isn't a casual detour. It's a reorientation of his entire professional compass. Dialect sessions with specialists, rigorous physical prep under elite trainers, negotiations that stretch into the night, extended stays in Los Angeles, and a calendar that simply cannot accommodate the rhythm of local melodramas. It's the kind of leap actors dream about, but only a handful truly seize. And with every step he takes, the implication becomes sharper: the duo must yield to individual growth. On the other side, Yağmur is carving out a frontier that might have seemed like a flirtation at first, only to unfold into a mission crafted with care and conviction. What began as a curious step into fashion has blossomed into a purpose-driven label centered on sustainability, ethics, and daring design. She's been seen gliding in and out of concept studios, meeting with engineers of new materials, attending invite-only showcases where creativity and conscience meet under a single spotlight. Those who've seen her lately say she's never looked more alive: sketchbook with coffee stains and folded corners, eyes that light up when a textile tells a story, hands moving as she explains the line between beauty and responsibility. Rumor has it a capsule is nearly ready, pared back, assertive, modern, unmistakably hers. Will it pull her away from acting for a while? Almost certainly. But it offers a kind of legacy that has her name not as a role, but as a creator. Naturally, the reaction has split the sea of admirers. One wave cheers them on: "This is courage," they write. This is what artists do when the horizon calls. They hail Barış for daring to step into the toughest arena in global entertainment, and they applaud Yağmur for pouring talent into a vision that doesn't just look good, it does good. The other wave is mourning. For these fans, it feels like closing a beloved chapter that had been reread countless times. They worry the old spark may never be captured again. Are we saying goodbye forever, or pressing pause for a very long intermission? Who could fault them for asking? When two careers interlace so deeply, the public's investment becomes nothing less than personal. Behind the spotlight, though, are two human beings with dreams that morph as they grow. Dreams need space. Nostalgia alone cannot carry them. And if this deep dive resonates with you, don't forget, in the midst of all these feelings, support Turkish Spotlight Secrets by subscribing, liking, and becoming a member through the join button. Tell us in the comments which stars you want to see next. Your voice shapes this channel. Back to our story. The transformation of Barış is already underway. He has pulled back from nearly all local PR, focusing instead on private rehearsals, accent work with coaches reputed for molding performers for international screens, and cinematic training that focuses on stillness, intensity, and action. Insiders say the script reads like a fusion of thriller nerves, deep emotional undercurrents, and athletic sequences, a landscape carved for a performer who can combine grit with vulnerability. Meanwhile, Yağmur is immersing herself with a focus so intense it borders on reinvention. People who've crossed her path describe spaces lined with mock-ups and prototypes, swaths of regenerated fabric, made from waste streams reborn into something refined, palettes that look like earth after rain, and long conversations about traceability, labor, and the ethics of making beauty in a complicated world. She moves easily from sampling tables to quiet corners where she refines silhouettes, testing a shoulder line, rethinking a hem, considering the weight of a drape even when the camera isn't rolling. The empire she's building is not of spectacle for spectacle's sake, it's substance that can stand on its own without a script. The fan landscape is still a tangle of emotion. Many are loud with support, "Go do it, we're behind you wherever you land." Others speak in softer tones. The screen will never feel the same without the two of you side by side. Perhaps both sides are right. The screen won't be the same. But difference can be beautiful, if we let it grow. November 20th, 2025, will live as a signpost, the day the narrative pivoted. It compelled everyone to rethink success not as a destination where you finally exhale, but as movement, a willingness to leave the known shore again and again. There's a particular kind of bravery in choosing reinvention instead of repetition, challenge instead of the comfort that applause can offer. None of this locks the door on a reunion. Life weaves in loops, not straight lines, and the industry loves a full-circle moment. If their paths cross again, it will happen when both bring new depth, new command, and a steadier sense of who they are as artists. Until then, we stand at the threshold of two unfolding arcs. Barış venturing headfirst into Hollywood's high-stakes terrain, and Yağmur shaping a sustainable fashion story that bears her convictions as strongly as her name. A shared era may be dimming, but two dawns are rising. Don't leave without helping us keep this conversation going. Subscribe to Turkish Spotlight Secrets, light up the like button, talk to us in the comments, and consider joining our community through the join option so we can keep bringing you stories the rest of the world only whispers about. This is Turkish Spotlight Secrets, signing off, until the next chapter arrives at our door.